Hello and welcome to episode 485 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now, joining me on today's episode is the incredible Lily Hopkins from the amazing band The Meffs. It's a great interview. They're one of the best bands out there right now. And the good news is we get to talk all about their upcoming album. We get to talk about the band's history and an amazing support announcement that was only made just before I recorded this episode. It will blow your mind. So stick around for that interview with me and Lily coming up very, very soon. But before we get into that, let's talk about the last episode. It only came out about 3 or 4 days ago, and I was joined by Charlie Rolfe from the awesome band As Everything Unfolds. A massive thank you to Charlie and the band for sharing the episode. It did incredible numbers, loads of new listeners, loads of new followers, so thank you so much. But today it's all about the Meffs, and I want to get straight to it. So here's me and Lily talking all things the Meffs. So Lily, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Hello, thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, Lily, what I do with all guests that come on the podcast, I'm almost at 500 episodes, but I never want to change it because it works so well. I want to go back down memory lane and start where that first album was put in your hand, maybe via pocket money, maybe by a friend, maybe by a family member, even if it's a really shit album that's absolutely devastating. Let's hear the truth. What was that first one that you remember either buying with your own pocket money or that first album you had?
Right. First one I remember getting must have been Spice Girls on cassette.
Nice.
Gotta be
Cassette as well. Shows our age. Just what I like.
Sorry, did I say cassette? I meant I meant MP3.
Spotify, yeah.
Spotify, yeah. No, it would have been something like Spice Girls on cassette, and it would have probably cost about $2.99 for the album.
In Woolworths.
In Woolworths, exactly right. I used to have a thing at Christmas where my granddad some years would take me into Woolworths and say, right, is there something that you'd like? And it would be like that, like a cassette or a something, and that would be my present for my granddad.
Amazing.
Not the Spice Girls cassette, but that was a joke.
But the thing about that is it's quite a lot of pressure because back then people don't understand there wasn't these streaming services, so you didn't get to listen to the album before you invested and bought the vinyl. You'd literally buy an album, and even if there's one good song on it, you'd try and force yourself to love it because you just spent £6 or £7 on it, which could be your week's pocket money.
Yeah, exactly that. Or even if you had pocket money. I actually didn't get pocket money. That's another thing.
Never.
So, no, it wasn't a thing really of my family to do pocket money. I think if I maybe like did a task or something, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Then maybe as I got older, but it definitely wasn't a rule of thumb to get pocket money. Definitely not.
All those times you missed out on getting pick a mix and...
Yeah, I used to steal those. We used to have a shop in the town. You could just put your hand on the scales a tiny bit. And
it's like 20p, but really you've got like every gobstopper and lolly and...
Exactly. That was the common thing to do. But
if they're listening right now, do not come after the Meffs. Like, leave them alone.
They shut down. We shut them down.
It's because you fucked them over.
Too many sweets.
Yeah.
No, I do need to speak to my... I'm going to speak to my dad, actually, about the pocket money thing. I'm going to bring it up. I'll calculate the years and then
work it out. Yeah, you might have to, like, remortgage the house.
God, imagine. Right, this is good. Right, we'll chat afterwards about this.
So we're like 3 minutes in and I've probably cost your dad and you your relationship in about 100 grand's worth of pocket money backdated.
That's fine. I'll give you 20% as a thank you.
I'm all good with this. This is great. So live music changed for me. I was very lucky. I'm 44 years old, and when I was a kid, my parents trusted me, dropped me off in Wolverhampton, and my first gig was Green Day on their Dookie tour. So I was very lucky. Back then, I thought Green Day were absolutely phenomenal. They were only a 3-piece. It made me want to come home, dye my hair green, buy a guitar, stand in front of the mirror, and that's all I wanted to do, just be in a band. Did you have a great first gig? Surely it wasn't the Spice Girls.
No, it wasn't the Spice Girls. A great first gig. I mean, one that always comes to mind is I saw Anthrax, the thrash metal band.
Oh, amazing.
They played in our hometown. Actually, we got venue in our hometown called Colchester Arts Centre, and it's an old converted church, and it's still kept like a church. And Anthrax played in there, and you can only imagine like a thrash metal band in a church with
Doing
stained glass
fucking
windows.
rock and roll, and
Yeah,
it's all this like
yeah,
amazing glass panels
yeah,
and old school
exactly that.
church. Is it still there going now?
Yeah, still going now. Still, like they have loads of people. They have comedians. They have, it's sort of on a bit of a circuit. It's only, I think it's about 400 caps, so it's sort of on that sort of warm up circuit that
You should do your
comedians.
homecoming there. Just come back and play there.
We've done it a couple of times, and it's a
Yeah,
real like it's got vibes. It's a good one.
sounds very good. So tell me, I don't know, obviously I've only met you today, but going back, when was it you had that kind of love to want to perform? Because turning around to your parents and saying I want to be in a band is probably a parent's nightmare. People know that the industry is very hard to break through in. It's not just for the like, I don't know, I think there's sometimes luck in being in the right place at the right time, but you need the work ethic, you need the drive, you need the passion above anything else.
Yeah.
Did you do the whole college Battle of the Bands thing and covers band, or was it later on? How did it all kind of
No,
start for you?
I didn't do any of that. So I used to play when I was at school. We had a little music room that you could go in after school, and it literally had like a amp and a basic kit. And I think when I was about probably 14, 15, yeah, probably about 14, I started going in there with a couple of friends. But I have a strong memory of playing one song over and over. Like I couldn't play. Like I wasn't someone who would play in their bedroom and like got really good.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. It was very much like an excuse to hang out with a couple of my mates. And then I remember we learned, funnily enough, a Green Day cover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, unfortunately not off any of the best albums. But yeah, we learned. I think it was Holiday.
Oh,
Must have
that's
been.
a tune, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been around that sort of time. And yeah, so we just learned that, and we used to just play it over and over again. And then that was sort of it. I left school, did just like normal standard stuff that kids do. Turned 18, started going out all the time, spent all my money, and was just working normal jobs, I guess. And it wasn't till later that I actually like got into a band properly in sort of my mid 20s, and went, right, I'm going to do this for a bit of fun. Did it for a bit of fun, and then was like, oh, I want to do this real.
Yeah.
And I'd always wanted to do it. From being a kid, like you say, it probably is. I haven't thought about the impact on my parents, but it definitely probably is a parent's worst nightmare when their kid goes, I'm going to be a rock star. And they
Get a
go,
real job,
oh,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, my mum and dad love music. And I think probably thought, oh, that's nice. Like, wouldn't have thought anything else of it. Do you know what I mean? They weren't the sort of people that would have said, don't be so stupid. They probably just would have said, cool, that's good. We'll go to school and get a job. And then if it works
Yeah.
out, great. That sort of attitude, which is lucky, I think, in some respect. I think that's probably quite a nice attitude for a child to have got from their parents. So yeah, I've always wanted to do it. Used to see like Joan Jett, Susie Quattro, those sort of people on stage. Later, like sort of Courtney Love, the
Oh,
Stillers. Yeah.
amazing.
So that was, I used to see them and think, oh, I have to do it.
I had Melissa Ooftemir on the
Oh,
podcast 2 weeks ago in person. She was phenomenal. And I just forgot how great Hull were. I've just spent the whole kind of 2 weeks up to that interview. Even though I've listened to them all my life, I got to live through this again. I was just listening to it again and again. I was like, fuck me, Courtney Love was unbelievable.
yeah, that's the album as well. Someone asked me the other day my favourite whole album,
Yeah,
and it has to be Live Through This. Like, it's just faultless. It
it
is
is.
faultless
It's
from
so
start to finish.
raw as well. It's just,
Yeah,
oh, like
yeah,
there was no sellout sound. It wasn't overproduced. It was just,
no,
this is how it should be.
totally agree. Totally agree.
So your parents are behind you, which is great. At what point did you believe that you'd done enough to kind of convince them and your friends around you? Was it for the release of Broken Britain Part 1, or was it earlier before that that you were doing shows, that you started seeing more people turning up, that you realized that, okay, this is a bit more than fun. This might be something I can make into a machine that will keep me going, you know?
I think I'm a bit of an all or nothing
Yeah.
person. And I think a lot of people probably that you speak to, and yourself included, are the same. When your head is in something, like I'm gonna make this work,
Yeah.
I will do everything in my power to make it work, you know. So I think it, like when we started, unfortunately, COVID-19 hit within sort of 6 months of us starting. Um,
Brutal.
and yeah, I mean, it's just it sucked obviously for everyone for lots of different reasons, and for us it sucked because we weren't known. We had no music out there, but we had actually recorded a little bit, so we put it out just to sort of put some feelers out, if you like, and the response was cool. And probably 18 months after that, we started gigging again properly. We'd only done a handful of gigs before COVID, so we're talking sort of 2021 now when we actually started going out properly. And yeah, and then Broken Britain came out, but at that point it was still a case of, well, we can't make money from this. Like, we're working full time. Like, I'm
Yeah.
doing 45 hours and then gigging at the weekends. And I think, like, for me personally, there came a point where I was like, it's not sustainable to do both. Like, I'm giving 50% in both, and
Yeah.
that's not how I live my life. Like, I don't want to give 50% in either. So yeah, it was around the time of What a Life when we were like, this could be something. Like, so like
And
this
that
this
was only a couple of years ago, wasn't it? So,
yeah, yeah, and like, we believed in it before then, don't get me wrong, like we believed in it from the start. But I think there's a difference between, like, you believe in it and your friends and family and your hometown believe in it, to actually then other people being like, oh, they're all right, you know, like, yeah, we'll take them out on a tour, like no effects,
yeah,
wanting to.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a big, there's sort of milestones where you're like, okay, this must be something. Then it's not just us thinking, we love what we're doing and they're good tunes. So yeah, it probably was around the time of What a Life when we were like, this is it. This is what we're doing.
Was there a certain point? Obviously, the release was 2024. The album came out. Was there a turning point? Was there an event or a gig or a show or a certain moment that gave you enough confidence to go, fuck work, I need to just do 100% for the band now? Like, this is the time to take the jump.
That definitely, that final No Effects tour,
Yeah.
when I used up all my holiday. So
My annual leave allowance is gone. Yeah.
honestly, it came down to that. I mean, there was a point where I was like, I almost needed to be pushed. I was at a point in my job where I was like, I need to move on. Like, I need to do. I'm not going to stay here anyway. Do you know what I
No.
mean? This isn't. I'm going to be moving on. Uh, and yeah, and this thing called music was like the thing calling me. And so yeah, we did that tour. All of my holiday was used up. I came back absolutely knackered, completely just gave it everything. It was the best time ever. And I think that was a big turning point. And then we got the Alice Cooper offer.
Crazy.
And yeah, and that was, I mean, I handed my notice in on the day that we got that offer pretty
What were
well.
you doing, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, as a job.
Yeah.
I don't normally tell people, but I will. I think I should. I
Yeah.
was a social worker.
Right. Okay. So that's quite a hard job mentally and physically.
Mhm.
So
Big time.
it's not like you can switch off and just kind of work on a checkout and kind of just be like, oh, I'm a bit hungover and tired, or I'm a bit knackered out from the tour.
Yeah,
You're needed mentally full on.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So there was no compromise, was there really? Like it's not like you can wing it at work.
No, exactly that. And that's sort of the point as well. That's the 50-50 thing. Like, you can't do either with
No.
50% of your effort. It's not possible. And especially after the pandemic, everything changed in that field. Like,
Yeah.
just everything in healthcare and social work changed in general, didn't it? In terms of funding and who was in power at the time, and all of those things, had a huge impact on the whole industry. And so yeah, there was a lot of things it was not only challenging mentally and physically to do both, but there were things that were challenging ethically and sort of mentally for me. I guess working in that industry as well. So yeah, it was a combination of a lot of things.
Did you, not to get too deep, but were you really nervous handing your notice in? Were you like, fuck, is this gonna really fuck me over? Am I gonna be eating pot noodles in a week's time thinking, shit, what have I done? Or were you just so driven by coming off the back of that amazing NoFX tour, getting to tour with Alice Cooper? Were you like, this is the moment now that I'm ready to, this is enough for me. I believe in this more than ever.
I I think I went through both of those stages, to be
Yeah.
honest. I think I went through both.
That's, you're a human. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the thing that drove me was that I knew I know as a person that I can be quite minimal. Yeah, I'm not a massive. I'm not a party girl.
No,
I don't go on big holidays. I'm not someone that is driven by all of those things. Do you know what I mean? So
of course.
there was a big part of me that was like, this is going to be I'm going to be living month to month. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
Like, can I do that? And then I was like, I can, because this is what I'm meant to do. So I think I just got in that sort of mindset, and then the more you do, and the more shows you're able to accept, because that was the other thing with then not working full time in a different job, we were able to accept everything that was coming in. There wasn't a time when we had to say no. We were like, yeah, we'll do that festival, we'll fly there, whatever you want, we're here. Like, and that sort of became the beauty of it. That's what then made me feel like, okay, this was the right decision quite soon after.
That's amazing. Were you able to? I know it's difficult when you're in the band and you're the insider that's actually performing, recording, touring. Have you ever been able to see the kind of progression of the Meffs? So have you been able to see the crowds get bigger, the venues get bigger, more people are buying your merch, people are singing your songs back to you? Have you been able to see the way you've kind of evolved over time? Or has it been too difficult because you're so kind of internally wrapped up in it?
No, you can definitely, I can definitely see the progression. I think looking at things like we do grassroots tours every year, and it's something that we've continued doing. And even from that, looking back maybe 3 years ago when we did one and we sold like 40 tickets a show, to then last year selling out the tour, you know,
Amazing.
and that's, I think, even just on a small, like a low level like that, or like the headline tour that we did for What a Life compared to like the Broken Britain tour, for example, the venues were significantly bigger. Um, and yeah, I can definitely see like the sort of community around the Meffs growing, and that's really what it's all about, isn't it? It's about building that fan base and that community that want to be on the trip with you. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
Um,
it's really important.
yeah.
And I suppose getting What a Life out there, leaving your stamp on the industry of my debut, this is what we're about, this is us. Everyone always talks about that difficult kind of follow up because the pressure's
Mhm.
there. You've poured your absolute heart, blood, soul, sweat into the first release because it's your first proper, yeah, you've had EPs, but this is the first proper album.
Yeah.
Now you've announced, obviously, coming up in September, the release of Business. Now, do you feel the pressure because you've had that debut, you've hit really hard with those songs, people have really grabbed onto them, and now it's like, fuck, we need to now match this and try and better it if we can?
I think that the difference is that we've both grown in like confidence in what we're doing compared to What a Life, and the sort of things that are sung about on Business is probably the most like vulnerable record that we've made.
Yeah,
And I think like in the past and with like the debut album and the EPs before, there was always that part of me that was a bit like, hold back a little bit, like hold back a little bit, because like I don't know, you sort of want to protect yourself
of
a
course,
little
yeah.
bit, because there is, songs are songs. And if I've written lyrics and I've written songs, they're a personal thing. So I think the difference now is that there's almost this like different type of confidence, I guess, to be like, do you know what? Like, I will lay it all out there. Like, what's the worst that's going to go wrong? What's the worst that can happen? So I feel like with this album, it's creatively more like just vulnerable and heavier and just everything maybe that I wanted to pour into an album, I feel like I've managed to do with this next record. Rather than trying to be like, okay, so how can we build on What a Life? Like, what can we do that's sort of a bit similar, but sort of builds on it and shows a bit of progression to keep everyone happy? I've sort of tried not to think of it in that way and just tried to think of them as like separate entities. Maybe that's the
Yeah,
secret.
no, that's really great. And you think that on this album you've not held back at all? Like this is the most honest, raw you. You've not held back and thought, well, actually, I'll keep a bit back. You've just gone all out.
I think it's 100% the most like honest and vulnerable album to date that we've released. No doubt there's more, that could come, but I think as a sort of first attempt at being vulnerable on a
Yeah.
record, it's certainly quite a huge progression, I would say, from the last records that are released.
When you've recorded this album, obviously it's all done, finished, but you've got to sit and wait now, promote, do gigs, do tours. Have you consciously been prepared that these songs are going to work live and do them justice? Because all my favorite bands I listen to, they sound the same when you go and see them to the record. I love bands like Fry, Deftones, all these
Mhm.
bands that really kind of do their live show justice. Have you consciously thought about that while recording in the studio, thinking like we won't do too many guitar overdubs or we won't make it sound too polished or produced because we still want to sound like the same band on that record that when people turn up to the venue, it's not suddenly like, oh fuck, this sounds weak or this isn't beefy or
Yeah.
it's a real conscious effort to get right.
Yeah, we that was a huge part of the writing for this. When we were touring What a Life, I was actively not writing anything new. So I'd switched off everything to just focus on touring that album. And part of that was because we were enjoying the songs and we just released them. But part of that was because I was very conscious not to write songs that were like the songs that we'd just written and released. So it's like sort of a conscious songwriting break. And then I think by doing that and then by solely focusing on writing this new record business, we were able to try them out more. So we were able to go into the studio, the rehearsal studio, and just be like, right, how does this sound now? Because we can get a good feel of it. Is it something that I can sing and play well together? Does it still sound fat? Do you know what I mean? What
Yeah,
else do we need to put in to make it sound fat live? And then by doing that, we were able to narrow it down to like 11 songs that we can reproduce live rather
amazing.
than before we've sort of our writing process has always been quite similar in that I'll write the lyrics and the riff and I'll bring them along and then Lou will put drums to them. But we've always been like, okay, we've written 11 songs and they're going to be the songs that are released. Whereas with this record, there were songs that just didn't make it because, like you say, we couldn't replicate them live or they just didn't sound fat. They just sounded quite thin.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
of
So that was
course, yeah.
the beauty of writing it this way.
And you don't want to be a band that has like an overproduced backing track where it
Mm-mm.
doesn't feel like a. I love bands, I love live shows, but if there's a real heavy overproduced backing track and it's kind of just singing over the top of like a karaoke track for me, I'm not trying to cause a stir here if someone listens and thinks, well, actually, Mark, it's not as easy if you're a band out there trying to replicate, but I love the authentic sound of a band that you still hear that guitar feedback, you hear that even if it cuts out, even if there's fucking the drummer drops your sticks, it's authentic, it's real, it's
Mhm.
what I want to hear. I want to be right up close and hear that guitar tone, and change it as you move your pickups or whatever you do. Like I want it to sound as raw as I can.
Absolutely, absolutely, and like you say, there's a place for everything, but certainly in the Meffs at this stage, like there isn't a place for a backing. It's
No.
just not something that we're entertaining at the minute because we just feel like we've landed on this thing that we can do live, and we just love playing together. like there's a good vibe between me and Lewis. Like when we're playing live, if something goes wrong, like if a string breaks, if he drops a stick, if the mic comes off of the
Yeah.
kick drum, anything like that, it's almost like a little, you get an extra little thrill live, even as the band,
It's
because you've got to
real,
put,
isn't it? It's your
yeah,
humans. It's really, I think it's important that, and you can also laugh it off, like, haha, you just dropped a
mhm,
drumstick, you know.
exactly. So yeah, there is definitely, yeah, there's beauty in being sort of very natural with it all.
Yeah, it's good. And do you still get nervous? I know you've done a lot of shows, but do you still, before you go on that stage, obviously if you're not feeling it that day, or you might have a headache, or you just might have other shit that goes on that comes with life, are you able to switch it off and be like, right, let's put my guitar on, pick up the mic, let's fucking forget the world and just this is all that matters? Or does sometimes you think, ah, I'm not feeling it, this is not going to be the day, this is too much?
I can count on one hand the number of times when I've felt the latter. Like
Yeah,
for me, getting on stage, that's my place.
lovely.
That's like for both of us now as well. Like when we started, I'd been playing in a very small local band for maybe like a year or two before. That was my first band. Lewis had done like one show before joining the
Is
Meffs.
that it? Wow.
Yeah, he'd done like one. So for him, it was brand new. It really was like a brand new experience of like getting on a stage in front of people. So obviously you're nervous at that point, but I can safely say, like for both of us, even if we are nervous for whatever reason, or we're having a bad day, or anything, as soon as we get on that stage, that's where we are.
Yeah.
Like nothing, like it's so weird to try and explain, but like just nothing beats it. I can't think of another thing that beats it. Nothing gives me
And
the
that's why you'll do
adrenaline.
it forever. That's why you won't
Yeah,
ever look for a plan B or, you know.
literally. I couldn't. I just feel like I don't get that rush from anything else. Um, maybe I'm not looking in the right places,
No,
but
no, it's
I'm
good.
quite happy
It's
with this
that
rush.
some people have I do a podcast when I do an interview and I finish. There's nothing else that gets, you know, no disrespect to family, friends, people that I care about, but
Mhm.
nothing comes close to that feeling of that connection, that chemistry, that moment. You're just like, this is fucking awesome, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I get to do this.
So I was going through my emails today, and literally before I realised and kind of put two and two together, an email that came through was literally this.
Oh yeah, come on.
For the listeners out there, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts have announced their first headline UK tour in 16 years, which
Mhm.
I just fucking blows my mind.
Yeah.
Glasgow, Manchester, Leeds, Wolverhampton, and London, which is just going to be unbelievable. But on the poster itself, it says, plus very special guest, the Meffs. And
It does.
I noticed at the start of today, when we talked about Hole and we talked about these great musicians, you mentioned Joan Jett.
Yeah.
Does it feel real right now? Are you pinching yourself? Are you like, what the fuck?
For me, this is like pinnacle
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like I I got a call at like 11 o'clock saying, I got a series of texts saying like, "Are you like awake? Like, answer your phone. Like, come on!" And I was like, "Oh man, what have we done? Like,
What did we
what have we
do
done
wrong?
wrong?
Yeah.
Lewis, what have you said? Come on, man." And yeah, and Stu, who books for us, he said, "You've had the offer for the full Joan Jett tour as main support." Now, I didn't sleep that night, nor did Lewis. Like, we couldn't sleep. And the next day, yeah, I couldn't control myself. I didn't know what to do with myself for the day. I
It's
was
a
so
real big
up.
deal. I can't even put myself in your shoes at that moment. For me, somebody like, well, obviously Jeff Buckley's not around anymore, but like if Radiohead
Mhm.
rung me up and were like, "Do you want to come and tour with us and just do a bit of a live podcast before
Yeah,
we go on stage every night?" I'd be like, "Oh my fucking god!"
yeah. You'd forget to say yes, and then they'd have to
Yeah,
get.
I genuinely don't think I could manage to even eat again or process anything.
Yeah,
So the fact it's out there, people are
yeah.
promoting it. It's official. It's on all the socials now. What was it like that moment you said yes? Did you actually realize that you would, what was actually going on, or did it just feel like a dream?
It was like it goes back to that thing, like you've got to have self-belief if you're gonna be in this industry. I think there has to be part of you that has like a weird like internalized self-belief, even if like you're nervous or you maybe don't believe, like you have to have something. So when this sort of thing happens, you're like, it goes back to what you said at the beginning about luck. Like people, it's easy for people to say, oh, you're so lucky, like you got that, or luck, I'm afraid, doesn't come into it, does it? Like,
You're the first person. I'm at 481 episodes that has said this because this feels like a counseling session now, and finally I've met someone that will understand what I'm saying, right? So I,
yeah,
I work so hard on this podcast. It's not in an arrogant way. I give my blood, sweat, and tears. I go to every festival. I'm the first person in the tent at Download, 2000 Trees, Reading. I'm the last person at the end of the night. All these radio big presenters come in, and I'm there. I've got no notes. I've done all my work. I've busted my absolute balls. And then you'll get somebody like, oh, right, you got some 41. God, you're so lucky. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking destroy you and rip your head off. Like, you have no idea. It's not like I was walking down the street and tripped over Derek from some
yeah,
41. He went, hey, Mark, do you want to do a podcast? Like, every single guest I've had is one yes to 150 no's.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
constant, absolute bleeding for the cause.
yeah,
And I hate, and no disrespect to anyone listening, I love you all for tuning in, but the oh, you're so lucky you got Mads Mikkelsen, you're so lucky you got Kevin Smith. I've never been lucky once.
yeah. It's
You
not
know,
luck.
I have never been lucky once.
No, exactly, and I think it's really important to say, like, this comes from grafting. Like,
Yeah,
when I say to people, like, we did 2024, we did like 150 shows that year. Like,
yeah.
the following year, we did like
So
over
nearly
100.
every other day you're doing a gig, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like, and it's and we do it. We don't have a crew. Like, and I think that's important as well. Like, we still don't have a crew. We have one person who helps us drive in, do merch, and takes photos.
Yeah,
Who I live with, who's my partner. And then we have our mate from Colchester, who we used to and still do play in his venue, and he comes out and does sound for us when he's free and not working his other like 1,700 jobs.
I love
So
it.
like
That's how
that's
real it
our
is.
crew. Yeah, that's how real it is, and like this sort of thing comes from grafting. Like, I'm under no illusion that Joan Jett sort of woke up one day and went, do you know who I want to support me? I want the Meffs. But like the important thing is whoever is making those decisions has gone, oh, there's a band who's out
Yeah.
touring. We like their sound. We like their vibe. They're going to fit. Let's invite them out. And I don't think that's luck. I think that's through
No,
hard and a good taste in music.
you've had to get on that person's radar.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So like I was like, obviously I was just really excited, to be honest. I was just really excited. Really just like, I mean, we were planning from like the next day what the set's gonna be. So
Do you have
yeah.
that picture yet? And this isn't meant to scare you, but let's be honest. Have you got that feeling yet of going to sound check at the first night and Joan standing there probably watching, or if you do the first gig and because you're going to appeal to her like fucking hell, it's a match made in heaven. She's
Mhm.
going to be on the side of the stage, checking it out. Like, oh man, the pressure, but
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. I mean, business has got to be dedicated to Joan. Let's be honest; it's literally about the music industry, and she did the same in '81 with Bad
yeah,
Reputation. You know what I mean? I can't
yeah,
remember the exact amount of record labels she approached in the 20s,
yeah,
um, and to 45 years later, the experiences in the music industry are not that dissimilar. For certain people, for minority groups,
yeah.
for just expectations put on women, lots of things are still very much the same. So I think if she is stood on the sidelines, we are definitely going to be calling her out and dedicating business to her. That's for sure.
God, it's gonna be amazing. Oh, God, I just don't know how you're even gonna mentally cope with sound check and setting up and hearing her sound check and probably being mates on tour. Like, oh my Lord.
Now you're making me. Now you're making me overthink.
Oh, You don't ignore the support band. You're in the same venue,
No,
dressing rooms next to each other. You're going to be doing merch together.
I
The
know.
realism is she might be like, "Do you want to come up on stage, do a song?" Fucking hell.
And I'll say what one, like
Yeah, which one?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, oh God.
Pick a song, any song. That's it.
It's a magical. So, how's
Yeah.
your summer looking? Gig. This tour, new
hmm
music out. It's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good year. We've got singles coming out. So the next single is so we've got 30th of
Yeah,
April. We've got Disorder coming out. Then we've got a single in June, single in August, and then the record, and just lots of festivals in between.
Is it which UK festivals you doing? I can't even remember.
We're not actually doing that many UK this year.
No,
We're doing
because you did Trees last year, didn't you?
yeah, so we did Trees, Bearded,
Yeah,
Download and Glastonbury last year and Rebellion. So that will be our 2027
yeah,
sort of cycle. This year it's a lot of ones abroad, so we're doing like Punk Rock Holiday in Slovenia, which is
amazing. Yeah,
we love. And we're doing a lot of festivals abroad. Pretty Pissed in Amsterdam. We're doing with Kid Capici.
wonderful
Um,
guys. Yeah, they're so good.
yeah, yeah. So we're doing a lot sort of on that level this year. Places that maybe we don't play often. We're doing quite a lot in Norway this year just to get ourselves out there a little bit more because it seems to be a really great place for punk and rock in general. And yeah, just all the album release stuff that's happening.
It's
Mad.
gonna be wild. What I do, and it's my last question for you today. Every person that's been on the podcast since day one, as the episode is all edited and finished and produced, and the world is ready to listen, at the very end of the podcast, a piece of music is played on every episode, and it's different because the guest that's been on the episode gets to choose the song they want played. So it makes it really special and kind of unique. Now, don't pick a Meffs track because I'll have those snippets all the way through the episode, but on the spot, and I know it's not easy, what's a song that means a lot to you that you'd love to be played at the outro music of Mark and Me this week?
Oh, I feel like I should pick Joan Jett.
Has to be. That's my heart
Yeah,
was instantly saying it's gonna. Which
yeah.
one though?
Because I was going to say Reasons to Be Beautiful by Hole because
Oh,
I
that's a great track as well.
it's my favourite track of all time probably for me. But Joan is up there as well. Probably something like.
Oh, that whole track is so good.
Can you play two?
Fuck it.
I
Yeah, let's do
think.
it. Let's just put up
Yeah.
two, just for one. Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
So we'll play
Hole.
Hole and
Yeah.
then Joan.
Yeah, and then Joan. I'm going to go for. Oh man, Joan's a hard one. I don't want to pick a cover that she's done, and I don't want to pick the two main ones that people know. Let's go with I Love Playing with Fire by Joan Jett.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I will be at those. I will make sure I'm at one of those shows. I don't know which one yet, but I'll get myself there and I will come and check you guys out. And I wish you all the luck with the release. But just to see you and Joan Jett is going to be wild. I can't even. I'll just watch you and think, God, I wonder if she's like shitting herself right now, thinking which song should I go on stage with, or I'll look for Joan watching your set.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
magical. But you've worked for it, like I said, and I never want to come across arrogant, but these people don't understand sometimes. It's never luck. It's always hard work. It's always doing all you can to get out there and make a name for yourself. And you're a living example of that and how it's worked. So just keep doing what you do. And thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. No, same to you. Appreciate it.
Wake up, who's your enemy? Wake up, it's not you, not me. Wake up.
So there it is. There's my interview with me and Lily. I think she's fantastic. Genuinely one of the best front women in music right now. I'm so proud of her. And my God, they've got some incredible shows coming up. Go and see them. The album is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. The singles I've heard of it so far, so raw, so punky, just absolutely incredible. And to be supporting Joan Jett, I'm going to go to Wolverhampton and check it out because it's going to be a hell of a night. So if you haven't got a ticket, go and do it because it's going to be absolutely wild. So let's say a massive thank you right now to the Meffs for coming on the episode. It was amazing. Thank you so much, Lily. I have so much respect for you and I really appreciate your time. If you've enjoyed today's episode, guys, please share it. You know the score by now. You've all got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Just take a moment to share the episode on any of those, and it really goes a long way. I do have a Patreon account, so if you go on markandme.com and click the link, you can go on there and subscribe. That really does help me and goes a long way too, and any support is really appreciated. I do have 2 sponsors I need to give a shout out to, starting with Richer Sounds. If you want to buy yourself a TV or anything to do with audio and visual, maybe some headphones or anything like that, go to richersounds.com or go to any of their high street stores. And lastly, Vice Press. If you want to get yourself an official licensed print, incredible films like Escape from New York, The Thing, Jaws, all these classics, all of them are licensed and all of them are available now on vicepress.com. If you go on there and add anything to your basket, use the discount code MarkandMe26. That's right, you're going to get 10% off your first purchase. Unbelievable. Right guys, I'm going to go now because actually behind the scenes I've got an interview in half an hour. That's how manic it is at the moment. But I hope you've all enjoyed today's episode. So until the next one, look after yourself, take care, listen to the Meffs, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
My one and only shining star said, "Stick with me and I'll take you far." Your eyes are sparkling with teenage fire. I'll satisfy your mad desire. I love playing with fire, fire. I don't wanna get burned. I love playing with fire, fire. Don't think I'll ever learn. No. stuff for your eyes. Did you